Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today for you guys. We're going to start in this one with giving our thoughts on Robert Kirkman, of course, the creator for The Walking Dead, signing a new deal with Amazon instead of AMC. And as usual, I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check out this article. It's from The Verge, and it says, Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman is leaving AMC for Amazon. Amazon Prime Video is going to get really bloody. So we'll go over the article together and kind of give our thoughts, but the first thing I would say is don't panic, guys, don't worry. I do not believe this has any effect on The Walking Dead at all because, of course, that's already signed and everything. So this is probably for all of his other stuff that isn't already set up. So, for example, The Walking Dead, of course, is signed and set up with AMC. There's also Fear the Walking Dead, which, of course, was not entirely Kirkman's creation all by himself, like a lot of the other properties here are. For example, Invincible, which is going to be getting a movie with Seth Rogen, and so him, producing, and Evan Goldberg, I believe. So that's going to be coming out, I think, in a few years. So just kind of starting talks on that and working on that to begin with now. So that wouldn't be included either, but it's basically all of his other new stuff, new projects he's working on, and any other comics he probably has that a network wants to turn into a TV show. For example, there's Outcast, which is with Cinemax, so that one's already kind of signed. So all of those probably will be out of the way. They probably won't be affected by this new signing and him switching from AMC to Amazon. So yeah, the article reads, it's been a busy week for streaming services, and Amazon is closing things out with a huge announcement. The company has closed an overall deal with The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman, along with signing a first look agreement for his production company Skybound Entertainment. In one fell swoop, it makes Amazon Prime Video the exclusive home for any new shows from the minds behind The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and Cinemax's Outcast. Skybound historically has a close relationship with AMC, the network behind both Walking Dead TV shows. 2 years ago, Kirkman signed an overall deal with the network that made it the home for any upcoming projects. Outcast was already underway at Cinemax, was exempted from the deal. Despite declining ratings over the last year, The Walking Dead has continued to be one of the biggest hits in television, and the overall deal was a way for AMC to keep one of its most profitable hitmakers in-house. The shift now puts Amazon in that position for any new shows, and the larger deal with Skybound ensures that Amazon will have first dibs on any other projects that the company develops. While it's an incredible win for Amazon, it also makes perfect sense given Skybound's larger emphasis on digital strategies. Under the stewardship of producer David Alpert, the company has eagerly jumped into YouTube Red programming, virtual reality projects like Delusion, and app-driven film experiments like the recent Capture. Given Amazon's diversified range of products and services, Skybound's ambitions are simply much better served by Jeff Bezos' company than they could ever be with a traditional television network. It also adds one more interesting wrinkle to the continued evolution of streaming service programming itself. Just this week, Netflix announced it had bought Mark Millar's company in order to develop original programming, which that could be pretty cool, while Disney revealed that it would be launching its own bespoke streaming service in 2019. Skybound's partnership with Amazon puts the streaming service on par with one of the most interesting TV networks in the landscape, and it will almost certainly make Prime Video a de facto destination for horror and genre fans. So we'll have to see what upcoming projects Skybound Entertainment has. Of course, it's not just Robert Kirkman by himself, it's his whole production company. So there's other titles even, for example, under the Skybound image banner for comics, and there's other things that he's worked on over the years, some of which are pretty funny and kind of fun, some ideas that are kind of out there, and some other stuff that is kind of more horror based. So we'll have to see. what other projects they come up with and what else they're looking at. But for me personally, as a fan of what Kirkman does and Skybound, Walking Dead, of course, is probably always going to be number one. And then after that for me is Invincible. And then the other projects that he has, the other things that he's worked on, I've enjoyed a few of them, but for the most part, it's really those two for me. So don't panic, guys, about the news. It's really just, for other stuff, I believe, not including Walking Dead. The next one is from digitalspy.com, and it's about Avi Nash being cast as Abood or Siddiq. We saw kind of a preview of that already, where Carl kind of sees him put down the walker that in the trailer is reaching for that plastic bag, and it's kind of skewered on a stick or something of the sort, kind of stuck there. So he kind of puts it down. So we'll have to see for Abood, or if it is in fact Siddiq, I would think from the comic book series, and this actor Avi Nash. I'm not really familiar with him, so you can check out the link if you want. Don't have too much to say because I don't really watch any of the shows that he's been involved in. I haven't seen any of them, so I don't really know what to expect from him. But yeah, you guys can also leave your comments below about that too if you want. And we will do a few questions from you guys for today, of course, because it is a Walking Dead video. So the first question for this one comes from Josh Manicolo, who says, Trev, do you think The Walking Dead will bring back gore for Season 8? Since in Season 7's finale, there was no gore. Carl literally shoots a guy in the throat and there's no blood. He just falls over and yeah, no blood. The only gore there was when Shiva bit that guy on the face. And there was barely any gore. So yeah, so Josh is pointing out, if you guys remember, where they said they were going to kind of draw back the gore last season, in Season 7, if you guys remember, after the premiere, I think there was some kind of backlash from commissions and things like that as a result. So of course, because the show is so popular and so mainstream, they want to kind of keep it, crowd friendly. They want to keep it friendly so that nobody, it doesn't hurt the show. And that kind of happens, I guess, with anything that becomes popular enough. They kind of have to draw back a little bit, I suppose, and kind of cater to the advertisers and cater to everybody. But yeah, I just hope they don't do it too much because, of course, that's not new for Walking Dead to see gore. If you go back to like Season 5, I'm thinking of Terminus and all the stuff that happened there. Sam, the guy who plays Penguin now in Gotham, getting smoked. Throat cut and the whole bit, blood just pouring out. So there's some really scary, really gory moments in The Walking Dead. And yes, the Season 7 premiere was one of the most brutal they've ever done. But, they've done lots of stuff like that. Getting to see Noah get absolutely ripped apart to shreds by zombies. Maybe it's because it was Negan. He was like a person rather than just seeing zombies rip somebody to pieces. But yeah, I hope this season they don't throttle it back too much because, of course, the show is a zombie apocalypse show, so it is going to be gross sometimes. It's going to be gory. It's supposed to be. There's some zombies that you would even see by themselves that should be kind of nasty and gnarly to look at. So, they can't throttle it back too much. I hope they kind of come a little bit back that way this season and, don't reduce it too much. I'm okay with reducing it a bit. You don't have to do what you did with Negan in the premiere of Season 7, again, if you don't want to, but you got to be able to meet it somewhere halfway. So I think this season we will see more than we probably did last season for a good portion of it. And they also talked about like Daryl killing Fat Joey and how that was kind of throttled back and that kind of stuff. So I hope they don't throttle it back too much this year. And I don't think they will. I think they'll get the idea that they were probably doing that just to kind of make it so that nobody got too mad at them, being like, okay, we're addressing it, we're on top of it, that kind of thing, and they fixed it a little bit for a while. But hopefully we'll see in the Blu-ray release, which is coming up pretty soon. I'll do a review of that for you guys once I get it. So the Blu-ray of this year. I'm not going to buy the DVD. I'm going to have to buy a Blu-ray player, I think, because my old PS3 doesn't work anymore. But I'm going to do that because, of course, then we get to see the Negan swearing parts and things like that. And I'll do a review of it for you guys when it hits. I believe it's August 22nd here in Canada. So I'll let you guys know when Season 7 of The Walking Dead hits on Blu-ray, and I'll do a review and tell you whether or not it's worth buying or what's on it. Next one's from Anonymous, who says, do you think there is a possibility that the TV show, and this is a bit spoilery with regards to Negan. We kind of touched on this the other day when we did a Negan video, but he says, do you think it could, be different from the comic book series, and possibly Negan could die at the end of All Out War, which would probably be like the end of this season, which would be like the end of season 8. He says, I know you have touched on this when you talked about when Negan will die, but with strong negative reaction to Negan's reveal on TV, I wonder if they're worried it may be a turnoff to viewers if Negan doesn't die at the end of the story arc. Keep up the good work. And that's a good point. You bring up a really good point, which is that the ratings did go down a lot. They didn't just go down, they went down a lot. So yeah, getting to see Negan, a lot of people's... I was surprised by the reaction because when I was reading the comic book series during that part, I was just totally intrigued, and I thought Negan was crazy and hilarious and this very interesting villain that you'd want to see. But a lot of people didn't feel that way. A lot of people with the TV series version just did not respond the same way as they did in the comics. So, man, it's really strange, just to see how crowds react sometimes given different circumstances. So, yeah, but, I still don't think they're going to go that different of a route. I think that in the past before, if you look at Andrea and what happened with her, where they went too far off, I want to say, the rails with her and what was supposed to happen with her character, I don't think Kirkman liked that. I don't want to put, words in other people's, mouths or anything, but from the interviews and what I've read over the years, it kind of alludes to the fact that Glenn Mazzara was kind of killing off too many characters too fast, and it kind of set it in too different of a direction than where the comics were going, and it just made it so different. So if they were to kill Negan off like at the end of this season or something, season 8, unless JDM wanted out, and I don't think he does. If you look at the interviews with him, he really seems like he loves this gig because the fan response, like he said in the, I think it was the thank you video. Anyway, he said it for season 8, one of the videos, that the fans for The Walking Dead are crazier than any other fans for anything else he's ever been involved in, and that's saying something because he was in Watchmen, and a lot of these other, like that's one of the biggest comic book movies ever, one of the most acclaimed comic book releases, trades ever, volumes ever, and he's saying that the Walking Dead fans are by far the best. So I think for that, I think he's probably going to want to be in for a while. I really don't think that Negan's going to die at the end of All Out War. They could surprise us, but I just, no, man. I mean, there's so much potential there, and I really think if they did that, Kirkman would probably be pissed, because if you look at all of the things that he's written for him later on, and all the comedy and all that stuff is not easy to write, I wouldn't think. It's probably pretty difficult for him to come up with these funny catchphrases and crazy stuff that he does. So who would they give that to? Who could fill his shoes? I can't think of almost anybody. Maybe like Simon, if he survives. I think it'll be the other way around. I think Simon will be killed off the end of All Out War probably, and Negan will survive, most likely. Hey, Trev, Fear the Walking Dead Q&A. How long do you see Walker surviving for? Till the end of the season, next season, or longer Negan style? So I'll just put this one in this one because I'm probably not going to do any Fear the Walking Dead videos for a little while here. Maybe we'll get back to it. If you guys want to see more, leave a comment. I could see Walker surviving to the end of this season. I'd be surprised if he made it out of this season or halfway through next season. By at least the end of next half, I would think he would be dead. But of course, again, there's no comic book series to go by for Fear the Walking Dead, so anything goes. You really never know what they're going to do with that one. Which does make it exciting quite a bit. Storm Shadow says, Trev Q&A, a while back I asked about the Coda intro scene where Rick runs over Bob. When replying, you said something about doing a top 5 or top 10 of the best intro scenes for The Walking Dead. Since we're almost to the 100th episode, do you think you could do a video on it? It'd be a cool video for the special accomplishment for The Walking Dead. Thanks, man, and great work as always. So that would be fun to do, Storm Shadow. I'll think about it. Some other people wanted to see me rank every episode of The Walking Dead. The problem is those videos, to produce those, it becomes really hard over the years. It used to be a lot easier in Season 3. I could make a lot more videos like that. Season 4, okay. Season 5, okay, now it's getting tough. Season 6 getting really tough. Now we're into like Season 8. We're starting Season 8. Now it's like if I want to do something like that, I got to look through all these episodes and be like, damn, how am I going to sort this and rank to 99? It's so much work because there's so many, and I hate to be unfair and just grab a few quickly. I really want to look through them all and decide, where I think everything should go at this time. So as far as the intros go, you're absolutely right. That's a super badass Rick intro sequence for sure. There's some really good ones throughout the series. I mean, even you could say the season 7 premiere one is like, you know, crazy exciting with you know, us kind of trying to figure out and stuff. So there's some awesome intro sequences for The Walking Dead, man. I'm just thinking of like all the different ones there's so many. It's just so hard to pick. So I'll think about doing videos like that, but I can't, you know, promise anything, guys, because those type of videos now take so long to do. It's really hard to do. And that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. I hope you did like it. Leave some comments below about those ones. And if you liked the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can do so at the bottom left. Appreciate all your support, guys. Thanks for everything. And I'll see you back soon for another Walking Dead video. Game of Thrones videos continuing, all that good stuff. And of course, when The Walking Dead hits on Blu-ray, we'll give you guys my thoughts on it. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you soon.